something like that. You can't tell me when he does a game, their personal vendetta is not impacting the game.
His judgment of his calls. You can't tell me it ain't happening.
Yeah, it's personal.
This is Down to the Wire 513, where passion meets sports talk. Tap in.
CP3 and Scott Foster had a little altercation. I don't want to say altercation, but they were having a conversation after a foul. CP3 got called for it.
Kevin Durant.
After that, Scott Foster gave Steve Kerr a technical as well, so he was just giving him out like candy during the game.
Like Oprah, you get a technical, you get a technical.
Everybody, man, keep going. You want to keep going, you can get tossed out of here too, Steve Kerr. But after the game, Chris Paul was asked about this, and he said this has been going on for years, as we all know. He said it all started back in LA when he played for the Clippers. He said there was a situation with Scott Foster, Chris Paul's dad, and Chris Paul's son.
Yeah, it's personal. Yeah, we had a situation some years ago, and it's personal. You know what I mean? Like, the league know, everybody know, it's been a meeting and all that, and it's just a situation with my son, and so so I'm okay with a ref talking, saying just don't use a tech to get your point across. You know what I mean? So I got to do a better job making sure I stay on the floor for my teammates. But yeah, that's that.
So you said it's a situation with your son?
Yeah, they know what it is. He know what it is too. So
we don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's just I had a meeting with him, my dad, Doc Rivers, Bob Delaney, and all us. So. Yeah.
Scott Foster?
Yeah, him too.
Was that back when you were with Houston?
With the Clippers. So.
Did you come out of that meeting thinking?
It was a whole thing, man, but it's still been a thing for a while. So. I ain't saying nothing to get fined, huh? Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is at this point.
Now, what could have happened right there? Me and T talk about it all fair. At this time, Chris Paul had to be like between the ages of like 6 and 9, 6 and 10, somewhere around there. So what could have happened between Scott Foster and Chris Paul's son? Have no idea. So my question to you is, do you think the NBA should have done something at that point to make sure that this was vetted? Because at this point now we know Scott Foster has been referencing some of Chris Paul's and the league's biggest games since then. Finals games with the Suns and the Bucks. Big playoff games with Chris Paul last year, and all through, since that time he's been in with the Clippers. That was damn near 10 years ago now. So what should the league have done, or how should the league have handled this, man?
Man, well, it's hard to really say because you know how fans in general feel about like officiating, and I know the NBA, they have like a grade system to grade their best officials. So like, if Scott Foster grades as one of the top officials, I
think he does.
I really don't think you can take him out. Like I said, if he's one of your best officials, you can't really punish him, take him out of games, even though Chris Paul are playing, because obviously you want your best officials officiating these games. Now, but I will say, well, I would say that goes in the finals. In the finals only because obviously there's only 2 teams left. Playoffs, yeah, Scott, we can't have you doing Chris Paul games, so we know. Now the finals games, yeah, if Scott Foster gets a game, you just gotta deal with it because it's only 2 teams left. But yeah, I think the league should have been. I think the league should have been handled it, and I don't know how league handles out schedules or whatever, how they put their schedule out or whatever for the referees, but. Yeah, if the league knows about this is a bad. I think it's a bad look on the league. And honestly, right now we just know Chris Paul's side of the story, so we don't know how bad or what he did to his to his son or that, so we don't know.
We don't know what he said, what he did. We don't know.
But if it was that bad, where I said where you had to have a meeting with the league and the then head coach Doc Rivers, then yeah, the league should then in their power all the chances to separate Chris Paul and make sure Scott Foster doesn't officiate his games in the regular season or the playoffs. I said finals. If it happens, okay.
If you even get there, because we know with your history, you don't get there in the finals that much. Right. So when you get to the finals, it ain't gonna be there. It ain't gonna be Chris Paul, hardly no way, bro. But I agree with her. I was gonna bring it up. Maybe the league should have did something like, all right, y'all gonna keep beefing like this. We're gonna separate y'all. We can't exile Chris from the league, obviously, and we can't do the same with Scott Foster. Cause I think he's one of the highest graded refs, like consistently he's been throughout his career. So I know fans are on the YouTube page of I watched the Chris Paul interview and comments saying fire Scott Foster, you need to fire Scott Foster. You can't just do that because that's firing over one guy who's going to be out the league eventually.
That's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yeah, you can't just do that. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. And you gotta get them in the room and make sure they squash it, or like you said, make sure all right, it's enough referees to go around, enough games to go around. Scott Foster, we're not gonna put you on Chris Paul's games. And if we do put you on a game, when we see y'all, we're gonna be looking at this. And if we see y'all and we're gonna see who started the interactions. And if it gets iffy, then we're gonna know who's starting it. We're gonna know who's doing it. We're gonna reprimand that person. We're not gonna just keep letting this shit slide, because it's been altercations for the last 5 years, publicly at least, that the internet has got a hold up and putting out there with Chris Paul and Scott Foster. The NBA should have been done something about this. It's ridiculous.
But it's always gonna be, like I said, man. Obviously they had a meeting, so the league must have felt like it wasn't that bad, like I said, because if it was, and I hate to say like I'm going to get Chris Paul, because I'm a Chris Paul fan, but like I hate to say like if the league felt like it was that bad, I think they would have got rid of Scott Foster back.
I would have got fired, yeah, because I mean the NBA is going to take, at that point when Chris Paul's in LA, he's one of the biggest stars in the NBA. They're going to take Chris Paul's side over Scott Foster's side. Let's just be real here. So if it was that bad, they could have found a way to get Scott Foster either demoted and start fucking with him, make him pissed off and want to quit, or they could have either found a way to get him out of there. So I'm sure they could have found easily found more players that could have conjured up some stories on Scott Foster and got his ass out of there. Because what I'm hearing throughout other players in the league too. Some players like Scott Foster though, but some players, some of the stories I've been hearing about these referees, man, with him included, are terrible. So I don't know. And honestly, you cannot sit up here and tell me that when Scott Foster he has Chris Paul games, you can question like the integrity or not, but I guarantee you, like there's some things like Chris Paul may get fouled and Scott Foster may not call it or something, like, or something like that. You can't tell me when he does a game, their personal vendetta is not impacting the game. His judgment of his calls. You can't tell me it ain't happening. You can't tell me it's not happening. So yeah, I agree with that 100%.